everybody.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Visible Lady of Faith, and this is
Her hubby.
And today we're going to talk about the Sunday school lesson for January the 5th, 2025, entitled
The Lord is
King.
Yeah.
And what my plan is to just highlight a few points that we can learn from this lesson.
Yeah, it's a very interesting lesson.
From this scripture, which is Psalm, the 10th chapter, verses 12 through 18.
Yep.
Okay, so today we want to highlight 3 points.
Helplessness, evildoers, and characteristics of God.
That we can learn from the lesson.
Yes.
I'll be reminded of, if you already know. Okay, so the first point, you said the first point was?
We're talking about
The fourth point is?
Helplessness, afflicted.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Helpless. So when we think of someone being helpless, I think of like a homeless person. Homeless person that is homeless or unhoused or hard to find a job, or trying to find food, trying to get clothes.
You said trying to find a job. Yeah,
trying to find a job. So someone said that all homeless people, some people want to be homeless because they don't like the responsibility of paying bills. Well, I kind of can understand that point because we're just working to give someone else our money.
Yeah.
We pay our bills.
But bringing God. No, God's going to provide our needs. And as far as the homeless is, I think your point you're trying to make, correct me if I'm wrong, that for me to sit here and tell you what the homeless person is thinking, that's a disservice to them, first of all.
Right.
We don't know if it's a mental issue. We don't know if they want to be there. We don't know exactly what
right.
You know, with them.
Everybody has a story. So
there you go.
What's your story?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What's your story?
Yeah. So
and then we as Christians should come with them non-judgmental, humble, and go in there and try and be a good listener. Is what. Who is really our enemy?
Who is my enemy?
Who are your enemy?
So, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have any enemies per se, but I may be someone's enemy that I don't know. Their enemy. I don't know why.
Okay. I got to stop you.
Enemy.
I got to stop you right there. Are you trying to hurt somebody?
No, I'm not trying to hurt anybody.
Then how are you their enemy? Because the definition of enemy, we looked that up. You remember?
Okay.
You're hostile toward them. You're trying to hurt them.
Yeah.
So
you want to see them suffer or in pain or
so
whatever.
Let me ask you,
I don't want to see anyone like that. I don't want to inflict that on anyone.
Are you secretly trying to hurt somebody? Tell me now.
No, I'm not. Okay. I am not secretly trying to hurt anybody.
So that's why I'm saying, look at the definition of enemy. No, we're not. But I do understand what my wife's saying because there may be some people that don't like her, don't like me. But I'm not their enemy. That's something that I'm hoping I'll pray that they get over.
You don't consider them your enemy?
No, they're not my enemy because they're not my enemy until they try to harm me, mentally, physically, or spiritually.
Oh, afflicted means to cause pain or suffering. So in today's world or society, there's a lot of expensive things, like the cost of rent and food and clothes, everything is just so high. And our salaries are not matching the high prices that people are charging or these companies are charging. So some of us are suffering because of that.
Sometimes we wonder how come God is not stepping in and stopping your enemies. That's why I asked the question, who is your enemy?
Right.
Okay. Now, the next thing, once you identify who the enemy, you may find out there is no enemy. You may find out you're the enemy. And then you may find the real enemy. $1,000 in the restaurant, but now the prices then went up, and if I keep that same habit, it's going to cost me $2,000. How about this? Cut back on the portions, cut back eating a lot, and eating more healthier.
We are our own enemies.
Yep.
And sometimes we do overspend, and I think sometimes we don't always look at the future to see we may need this money for an emergency or for something else. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not judging anybody, but I feel that why do I need to spend $200 for a purse or $200 for a pair of shoes? I just don't see
I put it this way.
the logic in that. You
But
know
I
what
do
I'm
see the
saying?
logic of that $200 person. If it's a high
I know what
quality,
you're gonna
if it's a
say.
high quality purse, and
Yeah,
I
I
can
know you're
catch it
gonna
on
say, yeah,
sale
yeah.
for, and I can afford, let's say, $110 as opposed to 200,
Yeah.
then I say buy it.
Yeah. Okay.
If that's what you can afford.
Okay. If
If-
that's what you can afford.
Yeah,
Yes.
and see, that's the key word. What you can afford.
Yes.
Still
So-
making poor choices and not following. Matter of fact, one more thing I want to add. If we do more fasting and praying, that's going to save us money, 'cause that means we're not eating.
Not spending money.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like I'm saying,
Yeah.
staying with the Lord and understanding what He's trying to tell us, as opposed to, oh, it's just a history lesson and it's boring. No, it's not boring. God has already left the instructions in the Bible to tell us how to live.
So, point 2 of our 3-point perspective is evil. People that practice doing evil, just
Evil
I don't
doers.
know, just evil, just to be doing something to somebody. And an example that
When you consider those enemies,
if it impacts me,
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
Yes,
go
if
ahead,
it
keep
impacts
going.
me, yes. So I believe that bullies are people
Or
that
evildoers.
want to inflict pain or suffering on somebody. Maybe it could be verbally, it could be physical harm on someone. But why? Why do bullies feel the need to have to say something or do something to somebody? Do they feel entitled to do whatever they feel to anybody they want? Do they think about the consequences of their actions? Or maybe they just don't care about the consequences of their actions. And that takes me back to like politicians that supposed to be making laws for us, and they are not making the laws because do they really care about society? Or do they just care about the power of that position, or that title behind their name?
and I'm coming from the other perspective.
What's your perspective?
I'm glad you came from that way. Now, coming from the whole thing, I asked again, who is your enemy? Okay? And then the other question is evildoers. Is this evildoer impacting me that where God has to come and do something about it? Because we always ask, and I say, how come God doesn't do anything about it?
Right.
Okay. One thing is the bigger picture that the bigger picture that these politicians everybody's talking about. Last time I checked, they never sat at my dinner table. Okay? The last time I checked, they're not my president. The last time I checked, when something happened bad in the economy, like the pandemic or what have you, they did not crash my household.
But they can impact what you put on your, having the money to put on your food on your dinner table.
And that is the problem with it. They can impact it, but God has always came in our family and rescued us from that impact. Okay? That impact, yes, He's always saved that. And from
So-
that perspective of the lesson, God has always stepped in and protected us from our enemies.
So what about the people that don't feel that way, that feel they're saying, how come God doesn't do something? Why is there so much injustice, so much corruption, and so much evilness, so much greed, so much selfishness in the world today?
Then
why are some people are getting killed because they are believers? I know in other countries, they're getting killed because of what they believe. So somebody might be saying, where is God? Why doesn't He do something about this? And this is what the psalmist is like lamenting, talking about loudly and having these questions about, how come we're not being rescued from all this?
Okay, again, God serves humanity on His plan, not our plan. And that's where our mistake is. That's why I'm trying to say, who is your enemy? Because right now, God took care of us during the pandemic. That's my point. The other point I've been trying to make with people, and I'm going to say this over and over again, how is your relationship with our Heavenly Father? That I'm working on my 49th year with my wife right now, and it takes work. I have to understand her
Lots of
biases.
work.
Yeah, understand what she likes and she doesn't like. It's the same kind of relationship we need to build with our friends and especially with God. And I'm going to say it a different way. We need to we need to build our relationship with love. Like I say, God is love. We need to build our relationship with love.
So we need to build our relationships by showing love. If God is love, that means we need to show love to
Not
our
only
fellow man.
Not only showing love, understand how love is interacting with yourself. Giving case in point, the first example that pops into my mind, sometimes a person comes over. I mean, I remember we were in Hawaii and this guy came over and he was homeless in Hawaii and he wanted something to eat and he just wanted some money. I said, no, I'll take you better than that. I'll buy you dinner. So I went and bought him dinner that night. And he says, I don't have any money, but I would like to give you this plastic heart. Okay?
Plastic what?
It was a plastic heart.
Heart?
Heart. H-E-R-T.
Oh, heart. Okay. I didn't know what you were saying.
Heart.
It sounded like you were
Okay.
saying card.
No, heart.
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 Okay, plastic heart. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm looking at it and I said, this is, in my mind, I said, this is trash. So I accepted it. And see, and that's what I'm saying is we need to understand how to interact with love. Because sometimes I could have turned that down and I would have hurt his feelings. Because his relationship with God, he was thanking God, but this is the only thing this person can give back in return.
He was showing his appreciation.
His appreciation and everything.
Real quick is the character of God. Since God is love, and if we are professed to be a believer, that we have love in our heart, and we should be like God. Loving, patient, kind, forgiving. I know some people that still hold grudges, and grudges, why? Why hold a grudge when you can easily forgive a person, you know?
We need to open that up a little bit more because we always putting, humanity's always putting arms and feet and bringing God down to our level, and we can't. That's totally wrong because this is me. When I'm out in society, when I see someone, you can actually look for guys.
You see someone what?
See someone that's doing something that's loving, that's kind.
Oh, yeah.
That's just doing something forgiving or something to that effect. Even watching a movie and seeing, one of these Hallmark type movies. That's who God is to me. And love is the power that put the universe and the stars in place. When you say our thing, that's the things that you're presenting. I think it's the words called pious or something to that effect. It's what you're doing is you're presenting a holy and righteous face, but on the inside, like my dad said, you're like the graveyard, it's rotten on the inside. Yeah. So, and he said, yeah, my goodness, but that's what it is because people have hidden agendas, and the only thing is I'm saying be very careful because us as ministers are getting exposed, people are getting exposed because God does not like you running under the disguise representing him, and really when you lift up the covers, it's not him.
Right. We will bring this discussion to a close, and I hope we said something to provoke thought. And don't forget to
go ahead, kid.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, and leave a comment if you agree with some of our perspectives or you disagree with our perspectives. We want to hear from you. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's a book that my wife wrote, and she didn't have it here, but she'll edit it in, and let's say, buy that book. It's selling. Keep going.
Yeah.